If we're going to talk about coach interviews, like how about your boy Jimmy Montgomery, who says, what if we just kick the shit out of everybody? He comes in and he's like, yeah, Matthew Tkachuk's really good at hockey. There's really no way to beat him.
Yeah, and apparently there's not. All right, in that case, I guess we're going to switch gears, go right into the hometown team here. Listen, fortunately for me, I stopped doing the this is my life thing as a fan. I'm already over though. The biggest thing for me that really fucking sucks is the fact that if this is the last year of Bergeron and Krejci, that's how it fucking ended. The scene of those two after was that was the worst part. And we were saying this before. I would have told you halfway. I was texting people halfway through Game 6. I was like, "Oh, they're losing in 7." Even when they went up, they were winning in fucking. First of all, Brad Marchand has a breakaway, a buzzer beater in Game 5 to end the series. In the third period, he had a breakaway, buzzer beater. That would have been insane. Game 6, they somehow come back. They score a shorthanded goal. They take the lead. They still blow the fucking game. They come back from 2-0 down in Game 7 at home. Go take the lead 3-2. And give up another goal to fucking Montour with 50 seconds left. And at that point, if you didn't know it was over, I mean, I don't know what planet you're on.
Z, I gotta ask.
I got robbed by the knob in overtime too.
I gotta ask. The conspiracy's out there. They flashed goal 15, 20 seconds before the goal was actually scored. League rigged or no?
Yeah, let's go with that. I'm down. Works for me. But so that whole series, the prognosis for me, if you want to do the postmortem, number 1, Paul Maurice beat Jim Montgomery flat out. Montgomery was just changing lines, just trying all his different shit that just clearly was not working. There were a couple of roster decisions and lineup decisions specifically on defense that were crazy. Like not having Matt Grzelcyk in those couple of those games absolutely killed them because they just could not take the puck out of their own zone at all. And if there's one thing, this is the best year of Grzelcyk's career, by the way. And one of his strongest attributes is either skating the puck out or exiting with a first pass. He is I'm not going to say he's Jonas Brodin, but when Jonas Brodin just has some of those escapes, we're like, oh my God, he's got 3-4 checkers coming. And he somehow comes out with 6 feet of separation, just breaking the puck out by himself with that skating. That's a poor man's version of that is what Grzelcyk does. He'll do that in the neutral zone too. It's crazy. So they could not break the puck out of their own zone. And realistically, though, none of those defensemen showed up. I mean, love him to death. He's one of the best defensemen on the planet. Charlie McAvoy played the 7 worst games of hockey I have ever seen him play. It was crazy. Orlov had flashes. He also had some insane turnovers. Hampus Lindholm was the exact opposite of himself all year. The one guy that actually played well in probably 6 of the 7 games is Brandon Carlo. And if Brandon Carlo is your best defenseman, I love the guy and he's great, but you're in trouble. And again, half of those fucking forwards, we find out that Bergeron is playing with a fucking herniated disc. And by the way, at Game 7, he threw a massive hit on Tkachuk just to get him. I was like, that's insane. Krejci injured. Ullmark injured. They waited too long to go to Swayman too.
What's the deal with that? Explain to me, what happened with Ullmark and why you would stick with him for so long.
Yeah, it's a great question because it was another one of the weird series where that goalie was he made some Game 1. He's the only reason realistically that they won. Game 1, he was lights out. Game 2 is eesh, but then he made a few saves too. It was just a few things where you're sitting there going how is this happening? And I wonder if they were comfortable after Game 5, still all right, whatever, 3-2. And then Game 6 happens and he can't fucking stop a beach ball. I mean, neither could what's his face over there, but that's fine. They still got the job done. But I mean, and Swayman made so many great saves in Game 7 too. He made some incredible saves in Game 7. And they're just the ones that you needed. Game, right. So that's the thing. How do you go to Game 7, right? So, I mean, we talked about it last year with Minnesota. How did you wait that long to go to Talbot? Same idea, right? Yeah. So, and Ullmark's not really saying, he won't disclose what the injury is, but he thought he was essentially up to it and clearly wasn't. Mm-hmm. And goalie Bob just decided to fucking do his thing, man. So
yeah, he's the
and
Matthew Tkachuk.
Matthew Tkachuk was born for playoff hockey and was born to be the underdog in any series.
True.
That motherfucker. That's like that's the description. He is even games where you look at game 4 where the Bruins just piss pounded them and Tkachuk was just he resorted to trying to fight Oldmark at the end of the game. He was just full rat mode. And realistically, he made a couple of really bad decisions in that game and was a big part of some of the goals against and some of the fucking botched opportunities, bad penalties. But no matter what, every game that fucking kid leaves his mark on the game. I have never seen him be a ghost. And ironically enough, he had 1 point in game 7. It was on the OT winner, of course. I don't even know if he actually got the assist on it. But he gets in deep and does his thing. So the Florida Panthers, Maurice, what a coaching job. Converted on the chances when they got them and really just found a way to exploit some of the biggest holes in the Bruins. And I still refuse to because again, I was saying before, it's man, if you can't beat the Panthers with that defense core, what do you come on? And they got it done. And I mean, they still gave up a ton of goals, but you know what? Fucking Tkachuk did his damn thing. Sam Bennett's a maniac, by the way. That first penalty in game 1 versus Toronto was the funniest talking. He was in the air for a minute and a half trying to take Camp's head off. He was like, what? It wasn't even a penalty. Anyways. But the Florida Panthers, hey, on the day, the fucking Panthers were better. And I mean, realistically, I think the Bruins had I think they played one good game and it was game 4. Other than that, that was the worst hockey, obviously, they played all year. And you can't just sit there and blame it on injuries. They did not execute a single fucking play all series long. It was unbelievable. Just the adventure of trying to get that puck out of the zone. It was just zero execution. So, I mean, the Florida Panthers were playing playoff hockey for 2 months leading into
that. I mean, I was going to ask about that, right? What do you put on that? Is that the difference maker that they're tuned up? They've been fighting for their lives for a month where Boston kind of coasted in.
I don't know, because realistically, if there's one locker room that I'm I'm not really worried about them hitting game 1 after kicking, not really needing to win any games for 2 months straight, it would be Patrice, Bergeron, David Krejci, Brad Martin, guys that have literally won the Stanley Cup and have had heart-wrenching fucking playoff losses in the past too. They've been around, they know. But who knows? I mean, I think it was more for the momentum of the Panthers, sure. I think, but I can't sit here and be oh yeah, they came into this series thinking this because they haven't had to whatever. Anyone that says, oh, they just underestimated, I think that just means you don't really know anything about analyzing the game of hockey. That's a cop out. I really do. I think oh no, I just need to sound like I know what they underestimate. I would have told you. It's yeah, I'm sure Patrice fucking Bergeron went into the playoffs and was these guys suck. We're gonna kick the shit out of them because we're better. I'm sure that's what Patrice fucking Bergeron, who's up for his 12th Selke in a row, by the way, that's insane. 12 nomination in a row.
That's the next shirt, Z. You made the shirt for Jim Montgomery. Make the one that's yeah, these guys fucking suck. We got nothing to worry about. Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, he did that. No, but that, again, so anyone that's oh, they underestimated, I'm what the fuck are you talking about? Who? Who underestimated them?
I underestimated them, but I don't think a single player in that locker room did.
Right. Crazy.
And how Matthew Tkachuk is the most Boston Bruins player, and he beat the Boston Bruins. Your team loaded up on rats. We were laughing about it. Oh my God, they're gonna murder everyone. Not on the game sheet. I mean, literally murder people. And he came in, he's yeah, you got a lot of rats, but I'm the rat king.
Yeah. He's just, if he was a Bruin, he would have a statue here already.
Yeah.
They would literally all right, we're building a statue everywhere.
It just had a close up of him in the penalty box as you said that. It's so perfect.
Oh, there you go. He's fucking unbelievable. That guy is unbelievable. By the way, everyone that just said he was a passenger on that fucking line in Calgary, Whoops. You
Idiots.
stupid assholes.
Dude, the other Merrick question that's been going around. One game, you got to win a Stanley Cup, or you got to win to advance, and you get to pick one player. Auston Matthews or Matthew Tkachuk. And he's asking this to he's asking Toronto people and like watching them score. I'm like, I mean, yeah, the right answer is Matthew Tkachuk, but fuck you for asking me.
It's crazy because like it shouldn't be though, because like and Auston Matthews is like one of the best. I don't care what anyone says. Like defensively, he is one of the best centers on the planet. So like people are like, oh well, all he does is score. It's like no, he actually, if you look at his numbers, he has insane impact at both ends of the ice, like 5-on-5. Like he could, if they really wanted him to, kill penalties. But why would you do that? Why would you like, hey, go block a shot, Austin? Go block fucking a Weber bomb. Fucking God.